11 days remain in the Texas high school volleyball season. 11 state champions will be crowned in a week and a half's time. And tonight, for one of these two teams, the journey to Garland hopefully continues. It's the 5A Division I Region 2 final. McKinney North and Highland Park in a clash of top 4 teams on high school game night. And with that, we welcome you inside the gymnasium here at Allen High School. A beautiful setting for this match tonight. Mike Leslie alongside the former LD Bell and Cornell outside hitter Janelle Fort. Janelle, we are back again. Good to be back on the air with some volleyball on WFA+. And you can't ask for anything bigger than this, a berth in the state semifinals on the line tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, you can already feel the energy in this gym.
Yes.
It is packed. There are a lot of people who have traveled in. McKinney North, not that far away. Highland Park, a little further. Some of the parents were telling me it was taking them an hour to get here. I know it took me an hour to get here.
A little bit of a hike.
Yeah, so, I mean, but this is a big deal, big volleyball. And this is going to be a phenomenal game tonight. Yeah,
I believe my wife and kids are still stuck in the traffic, making their way up here right now, trying to get here in time for the start of this one. It is going to be a terrific matchup. Let's show you the bracket in 5A Division I. This is the Region 1 and Region 2 side of the bracket. You see McKinney North and Highland Park highlighted there down at the bottom of your screen. Aledo and Birdville playing in the other regional final tonight as well. That match started just about 25 minutes ago. Winners will play in the state semifinals, and then, of course, on to Garland they will go the weekend of November 20th, 21st, and 22nd. They will hand out those 11 state championships, and it will be quite a thing to see which one of these 4 teams represents North Texas when we get to that stage in Garland in just a little bit's time. These two teams are really interesting in terms of from a matchup perspective, Janelle, because they do it in so many different ways. Highland Park is huge, huge for a high school volleyball program, especially 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" across their front line. That is difficult for anybody to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely, and they play big at the net. They really utilize these players. One of the things that Highland Park's coach was telling us is that these are big girls. Typically with girls that tall, they don't do well defending, but he says these are all-around players, and that is something that we're definitely going to have to watch for, and something that McKinney North is definitely going to have to factor in is that, yes, they are tall, but you're not going to be able to take advantage of them defensively when they are in the back row serving or when they're off the net and they're having to defend that opposite ball. Yeah,
for McKinney North, despite the fact that they don't have the same size quotient that Highland Park has, they are still an elite program. We're talking about a 23-match winning streak dating back to late August. They have, forget the height, they don't need it. They're getting the job done just fine.
They're explosive. I will say that, you know, I'm 5'9" without shoes on, probably closer to 6 feet with shoes on. I was a shorter player, but I could jump, and that is what we are likely going to see from McKinney North. These are girls that are shorter but agile, can move quick, can do those fast tempo sets and hits and get up off the ground, and that is something that, you know, Highland Park is really going to have to pay attention to, because when you are taller, it does take a little bit more, you know, to get moving. So they're hoping that they are going to be able to exploit that tonight. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see.
We're going to highlight, though, some of the shortest players on the floor, the liberos from both teams. First from McKinney North, Gabby Rodriguez, the daughter of head coach Libby Rodriguez. And Janelle, she is sensational.
Sensational. I actually caught up with her dad a little bit, like about 10 minutes ago. And when we're on that coach's call, she told us when Gabby was 8 years old, she looked at her parents in the eyes and was like, I want to be an Olympic volleyball player. And they're like, all right, if you want to do this, just know we're going to push you. And she has been on track to do just that. Phenomenal player on the U19 national squad. Yeah. Big time leader on the court. Her dad was telling me she takes mentorship really, really seriously. And she makes sure that she's the hardest worker on every court she steps on.
She will play in the Under Armour All-American game on January 1st, selected for that. One of very, very few, of course, across the country to receive that honor. Meanwhile, for Highland Park, Gigi Wan, their libero, committed to play at Arizona today. Today was signing day for her. She's going to go be a Wildcat, and she is terrific in her own right. All-state last year in 5A as a libero, and plays for a program that I know you have a close connection with TAV. 9 different times winning national championships through her span there.
Yeah, no, TAV, phenomenal club. I played for TAV. I coach for TAV now. And they're really about fundamental volleyball, and you see that in a lot of their players. A lot of girls on both these squads here play for TAV. We're going to see that tonight. But Gigi, in particular, homegrown, was brought up to varsity as a freshman, became libero as a sophomore, and it was kind of history from there.
Yeah.
Leader on the court, and you really do want someone that's loud, vocal in that back row because she is leading the team defensively. You know, you have your QB on the offensive side, which is your setter, but defensively, your libero is the one that's having to kind of navigate everyone on that back row, whether it's serve receive, whether it's defending someone that's hitting or blocking or tipping and whatnot.
She is particularly fantastic in serve receive, and that's going to be a key spot tonight because McKinney North can certainly bring it in the service game as well. As we get a little bit closer to this, what are some of the things that you feel like are most key to determine how this match will progress?
It's going to be how they exploit each other's weaknesses. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. You mentioned serve receive. When we talked to Coach Dearman over at Highland Park, he was saying how they take serve receive as them playing defense. It's a defensive strategy. They serve hard, they serve fast, and they want this team, McKinney North, to be out of system because they do not want their middles hitting. Their middles are a force to be reckoned with, and Highland Park has said that, you know, they're a little bit worried about defending them. On the flip side, McKinney North is going to have to look out because they've got these big girls that are touching these big heights, and they can pound balls. Granted, they've got a great defensive team, but, you know, when you have 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" up at the net, if they're over that block, there's not much you can do.
Yeah. Both of these programs have not won a state championship in their history. McKinney North made it all the way to the championship match a year ago in a little bit of a surprise, knocked off, upset Highland Park in the second round of the playoffs when Highland Park was ranked 5th in the state rankings a year ago, and continued that magical run all the way through to Garland, where they lost in 5 sets against Corpus Christi Flower Bluff in an epic. So they are absolutely chomping at the bit to get back and finish that journey. And for Highland Park, Michael Dearman, their 22nd year head coach, has basically done everything except for win a state championship. And both of these coaches talked about how it would mean everything to them, to their programs, to players that have played for them in years past if they are able to get the 3 more wins they need to win a title.
Yeah, McKinney North comes in with a chip on their shoulder. They lost in the finals last year, and they're like, this is the year, especially for Gabby Rodriguez, who walked away with a record in the championship game.
43 digs in the state championship
And the
game.
first thing she told her mom, the coach, was, I don't want that. I want that gold trophy.
Yeah.
And that's the energy that this team is going to bring in tonight. On the flip side, Highland Park has said that this is one of the most talented teams that he has ever coached, that he has ever seen. And he really wants this chip. So we're going to see, again, this is another matchup for them. Last year, it was earlier in the season. This time, it's at a little bit more of a critical point. But it's going to be a great game. It is going to be a great game. And I'm really excited about the different playing styles of both of these teams. We're going to see some funky things happening on both sides. I can't wait to point them out when they happen.
Yeah, Anna Lee in particular. We've got about a minute before we got to hit our first break. Anna Lee, the setter for Highland Park, only 5'4", and this is a very unique thing. They don't have her block.
Yes, and she's on the front row for 3 rotations. This could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. A really good team might try and take advantage of that. You run a quick set to the outside while she's there and are forcing their middle blockers to do that single block. And if they are not getting there fast enough, that's a no block. That's, you know, your good hitter is going to pound it straight down and get a point every time. They do have a workaround where they sub in a middle for her if they do kind of get to the point where they're in a rut. They can't really get back in system and get a point knocked off. But it's it's not something you see frequently where they're forcing their middle to really defend that pin by themselves.
Yeah, Brooklyn Bailey and Lydia Fisher, their 2 middle blockers, are sensational and do a really good job of working together in tandem to kind of make up for that. But it's a different challenge. I love this note, though. Anna Lee, the setter for Highland Park. I think this is the first time we've ever had this happen. We had her brother on our air 4 days ago on Friday Night Football. He's a running back for the Highland Park Scots. We featured him a few days ago when they beat Midlothian in the regular season finale. We are just about ready to crank this thing up. The 5A Division I Region 2 final. McKinney North and Highland Park. The first serve after this.
Thanks, Delkus.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
North Texas, it's a hot one today. If you're planning on taking your pups out, make sure to protect their paws. That asphalt is going to be hot.
Thanks, Delkus.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
Discover WFAA Plus, a live 24-hour stream of WFAA news and exclusive digital content, all completely free. Now available on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Download WFAA Plus today.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. It's hot in McKinney. We'll fix that probably.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Y'all-itics, the unofficial political podcast of Texas. So each week we invite on change makers for cold beer and candid conversations into the issues really affecting Texans. Yeah, and we're bringing in diverse viewpoints so you get to listen and really understand. This is solid information and a deep dive you're not going to get anywhere else. Not to brag, but just to brag a little bit. Okay, a little. We've been trending and making headlines. Plus, we have more than 1 million downloads. And still counting.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Back in Allen. About ready to go with McKinney North and Highland Park. Let's show you the starting lineups for tonight and note the height differential here. 6'3", 6'5", 6'4", Floyd, Fisher, and Hudgens across that front line for Highland Park. No one taller than 6'1" in the McKinney North starting lineup, Janelle. But again, they are still massively successful and efficient regardless of any height differential. And again, it comes back to what you talked about earlier. The athleticism is just through the roof.
Yeah, when you are explosive, when you can get off the ground, that makes up for some of that lack in height there. But it is still hard to defend those bigger girls when you have, a couple 4 or 5 inches in deficit.
Lineups being introduced right now for McKinney North. Nicole Jacobson making her way across the court. There you see Gabby Rodriguez, the libero, in the white #1 uniform for the McKinney North Bulldogs. The coach's daughter, her head coach, Libby Rodriguez, said that humility has been a really key piece of the story for her in becoming the young woman she is and becoming the volleyball player that she is.
Absolutely.
Sean Miller in the YouTube comments says that he's watching from College Station tonight. Says, let's go, Janelle. He may or may not have a connection to our color analyst. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
My fiance is my number one fan.
A connection,
my number one fan.
A connection now written in gold and diamonds. Let us know in those YouTube comments where you're tuning in from tonight. Again, you can find this broadcast on WFA Plus, on WFA.com, and on the WFA YouTube channel. Wherever you are joining us tonight, we appreciate you being with us for our second ever high school game night volleyball. Starting lineups set to be introduced now for the Highland Park Scots, who are on the near side. The designated home team this evening, 40-8 on the year, 14-0 out of District 12 5A Division I. A year ago, 32-12, went 13-1 in district, lost in the area round against this McKinney North team in a 3-1 match. They lost 5 seniors off of that team a year ago. Isabella Ocampo, Caroline Cannon, Molly Brainer, Talia Lardner, and Alexandra Richter. But they brought back a ton of talent, certainly Gigi Wan. Central to all of that, Sarah Floyd, Allie Hudgens. Hudgens transferring in from Austin Westlake in January. Lydia Fisher transferring in from Atlanta, Georgia over the summer. Those two, in addition to Sarah Floyd, that was one of their homegrown Highland Park kids, making a big difference in a team that battled a ton of injury woes through the year, Janelle, and yet here they still are.
And you know what? Those injuries, the coach said, come as a blessing in disguise, because they were able to really create better depth on their roster.
Yes.
You've got a whole bunch of girls that have played at a high level all season and have been able to get to this point without some of those star players that they thought that they were going to be relying on throughout the season, that ultimately are back now to join those girls that have really been able to better their craft by getting those opportunities earlier this season.
Meanwhile, for McKinney North, coming off of a 28-12 campaign a year ago, again, they went on that magical run all the way to the state championship game in 5A Division I, losing a heartbreaker against Corpus Christi Flower Buff. Won the first set, but then lost the second, won the third, lost the fourth, and a 15-10 final in the fifth set to lose just barely in the state championship match. Lost 3 players off of that team, Ayanna Moore, Maddie Traylor, and then Alan Brewer, who actually reclassified to the senior class and graduated early so that she could go play for the LSU beach volleyball program. That was certainly a big loss, and yet still Libby Rodriguez's program right back here in a regional final and hoping to go win a state championship this year. 36-3 on the year. They have not lost since August 23rd. 14-0 through District 9 5A Division I. It's a program, Janelle, that has grown into one of the elites in Texas high school volleyball under the guidance of Libby Rodriguez, who's now in year 7 as their head coach.
Yeah, and Libby Rodriguez is, a force in her own right. She was an All-American, really came in, has poured a lot into this program, and you can see her talent just based on some of the sizing factor of this. If you can take a team that doesn't have those 6-footers and still get to this point, that says a lot about your ability to coach fundamental volleyball. One of the big things she was telling us in that call is that her big thing is balls do not hit the ground without any effort.
Yeah.
And that's character.
There you see mother and daughter. Head coach Libby Rodriguez, Gabby Rodriguez, the senior libero. They came oh so close to a state championship a year ago. Can they get one step closer tonight? Please click the like button, click the share button on our WFA YouTube channel. Or if you're on WFA.com, copy that link and send it to a friend. Let them know they can tune in tonight for some high-level high school volleyball. There you see Michael Dearman, the head coach of the Highland Park Scots, year 22 at the helm for HP, 12th all-time in career wins in the state of Texas, over 900 victories in his career. The only thing he hasn't done is win a state championship. Is that 3 wins away for the Scots program? They got to the title game in 2003, to the title game in 2008. He thought, we'll be back all the time after that early success. It has eluded them so far. Is this the year with the program he says is the best team he's ever had at Highland Park? McKinney North on serve. The state semifinals are Saturday at Prosper Rock Hill. One of these two teams will be there. We're underway here in Allen with Highland Park and McKinney North. And McKinney North to strike first. Nicole Jacobson floating it over the top off the set from Gabby Rodriguez. Malia McNeil, the setter, on serve for McKinney North. One-handed set, a little discombobulated there for Highland Park. Anna Lee couldn't get a square set on that one off the pass from Gigi Wan, and McKinney North scores the first 2 points of the night.
And both of these teams have said that they're really focusing on serve-receive.
Much better serve receive there to set up Anna Lee, but that one misses long. And McKinney North with a 3-0 start.
Highland Park really struggling with those two hitting errors right off the gate. That nice float right there, keeping them.
Another miss long.
Hitting arrow.
Allie Hudgens sending it long. It's 4-0 McKinney North.
And if you notice, McKinney North is doing a really good job of keeping them out of system. The setter is taking the majority of those balls right there at the 10-foot line, which is bringing their middles out of the mix.
On the far side, and that is hammered down for the first point of the night for Highland Park by Sarah Floyd. So HP able to settle the nerves a little bit, and now Hudgens will be on serve. Just long, and a nice job to evade that by Anna Seaman on the back row. 5-1 McKinney North.
McKinney North really taking advantage of those errors.
This one's a rematch of a second-round match in last year's playoffs. McKinney North winning that one 3-1. Bulldogs would go on to make it to the championship match.
There we go.
Nice block by McKinney North that time. Dump try. Rodriguez was there for it. Tip try won't go. And a nice hit on the far side by Nicole Jacobson that's too hot to handle on the back row. 6-1 McKinney North. The Bulldogs racing out of the gates. What are they doing best in your mind to start so strong, Janelle?
Well, first, they're taking advantage of just errors by Highland Park. The other thing is, you know, we talked about them being small but agile, and I think that's not clearer than looking at, I'm going to mess this up. It's not clearer than looking at their middle blockers and the way,
That one misses just low, and a point for Highland Park. A little discombobulation there for McKinney North. Really the first time, you know, all night that we've seen them not sharp.
They got discombobulated as well as I did, but their middle blockers are doing a good job of sealing the block, really forcing them to get creative with where they're putting those balls.
Out of system, but Highland Park still able to score as Floyd puts it down off the hands of McKinney North. And back-to-back points for the Scots to make it 6-3. Gigi Wan on serve, the Arizona commit. Misses long with the service.
And if you remember in that call with Coach Dearman, he was talking about the speed at which they serve those floaters. And that's the complicated part, because it's if you put too much power behind it, it will be moving fast, but it will also be moving out. And that's kind of what we're seeing as this game is starting off.
That one catches the line just barely in for Sarah Floyd, and it's 7-4.
And Sarah Floyd is doing a really good job of hitting that steep cross-court shot. Because the block there by McKinney North is up. She doesn't really have another option. She's not going to be able to go line. She's not going to be able to go down the middle. But she's really doing a good job of taking advantage of that cross, that hard cross hit, and is being really, really successful there.
Highland Park trying to respond out of system. Rodriguez just bumps it over the top.
And gets them out of system. There we go.
Sets it up. That catches a fingertip. And it's a point for, Highland Park thinks that it caught a fingertip. No, they're going to say point to McKinney North. Michael Dearman wanting a little explanation from the officials as to why that wasn't a point for the Scots. Looked like it may have caught a fingertip. Although Dearman's pointing to the line saying maybe it was in.
Yeah.
Either way, the point goes to the Bulldogs, and it's an 8-4 tally here in the early going. Far side, dug out, but nothing to do with that one. Taylor Toomey, the sophomore, punishing, and it's 8-5. Toomey, a sophomore just like Sarah Floyd, teammates together with her on their club program for years. Nice pass to set up an in-system opportunity that is out just barely. And a point for Highland Park.
But if you take a look here, this is what I'm talking about with the Highland Park team. You've got Brooklyn Bailey on a solo block out there on that pin. They're really trying to take advantage of it. McKinney North did exactly what I said they would do, try and run that quick set out there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to execute there.
Tooling the block brilliantly is Chloe Lewis off the hands and down. And McKinney North responds.
McKinney North is doing a really good job of trying to force Brooklyn Bailey to make a decision and commit to either one of those pins.
Nice job by Gigi Wan to get under that one and set up an opportunity. Good dig by Rodriguez to answer back, and they send it over. Brubaker to finish it. Watch this point back again, battling liberos. There's a reason why we spotlighted Gabby Rodriguez and Gigi Wan tonight. Both of them with some terrific work there. Bump set here from Wan. They'll just float it over the top. An opportunity here on a free ball. Dug out nicely. Long rally here. Bump set for the back row, and finishing it is Sarah Floyd.
Sarah Floyd really able to take advantage of that cross shot there.
So Haley Hunt will come on to serve now. She will serve some in place of Brooklyn Bailey throughout the night. Sends a good one in here. But they'll have to bump set for the far side. High off the hands and somehow falls to the court.
A little miscommunication there. On those balls, you can't really hesitate. If you're going for it, you have to take it and just hope that you don't run into your teammate.
So now Chloe Lewis, the senior, will serve. Daughter of an AAU basketball coach. No flash, all substance, according to her head coach, Libby Rodriguez. Nice set on the near side, off the hands and down. Allie Hudgens scores, and it's 11-8.
Highland Park really finding their groove on that right side, that opposite side.
They've done a nice job of picking their way back into this one after falling in an early 6-1 hole.
Great pass there and serve receive.
Looking to the far side and scoring is Caitlin Jefferson.
Both of these teams really trying to exploit that right back position.
One of the things that makes McKinney North hard to deal with, Janelle, is the fact that it can come from any angle. They've got 5 different players with over 200 kills on the year. Anna Saman led them coming in with 259. Chloe Lewis, Nicole Jacobson, Caitlin Jefferson, Tinley Brubaker, all with 211 or more kills on the season. it makes it hard for a defense to know where it's going to come from. That is coming from Allie Hudgens, and it's another point. Beg your pardon, Sarah Floyd.
Sarah Floyd.
Floyd, the sophomore, 6'3", 304 kills on the year, leading the way for Highland Park. They knew when she was a 7th grader that she was going to be a superstar, and Michael Dearman said they already had coaches calling about her when she was in 7th grade. Nice job to find the back corner by McKinney North and
really
score.
Great court awareness there.
Burgess, the freshman on serve, just turned 15 years old, but loaded with talent. Sends that one long, though.
Now serving for the Scots, number 14, Gigi Wan.
Rodriguez sending that one sky high as they set it up on the near side. Juan with the dig. Tip try, underneath it. Really good hustle from McKinney North to keep that one alive, but a free ball coming over the top and down for Highland Park as Brooklyn Bailey scores.
And as a middle, that's exactly what you want. That quick set where you're beating the block, able to really put it down.
Highland Park feels like if they can bring the tempo, that can make things hard for the McKinney North block. Tip try will fall. Nicole Jacobson with a cheeky point. Rodriguez now to serve. An incredibly focused young woman. Wants to be an Olympian. Digs that one out brilliantly, but a free over ball here. Bump set on the near side. Blocked.
Good hands on that.
Nice work by McKinney North to send that over.
And
quick
keep
set. And Bailey scores again.
And really with Brooklyn Bailey up there, Chloe is going to have to stick with her.
Top serve. Sarah Floyd with the ace. That is an area where Michael Dearman told us this week, Janelle, they are really strong on serve. 40, 42, 43 mile an hour services coming over the top. Very hard to send back.
And he talked a little bit about his mindset surrounding serving. I talked about this a little earlier, but he says this is the first step of defense. Because as soon as that ball goes over, the team has to be in defensive position.
Good block at the net. And the defense pays off. Brooklyn Bailey with the block. And Highland Park has pulled back within one.
And we are now back into
Beg your
that
pardon,
rotation.
have pulled level now, 14 all.
Yeah, we are now back into that rotation where setters on front row. Brooklyn Bailey will be up there at the block by herself on the pins.
That one caught a piece of the netting. Point to Highland Park, and the Scots lead for the first time tonight. They trailed 6-1 in the early stages of this first set, and they have come all the way back to lead. Bump set going all the way across the court. Tough dig by Gigi Wan, and they can't get to it. Oh my, crashing into the bleachers on the far side was Brooklyn Bailey. Helped back to her feet by her teammates and appears to be okay. As McKinney North pulls even at 15 all. Scary moment there for Brooklyn Bailey, but she seems to be fine. Kowalis, the other setter in the 6-2 with Malia McNeil. Serving that one over, digging that one out. Rodriguez with the set to the near side, and punishing that one is Anna Saman, the sophomore.
And again, you saw it there, Brooklyn Bailey up there in a solo block because their setter does not block when she's on front row, which makes it a little easier to take advantage of.
Another nice serve from Koalas. Dump try, out of bounds. Point to McKinney North. The tip from Brooklyn Bailey just beyond the line, and it's a 17-15 lead for the Bulldogs. And a timeout for Michael Dearman. After his team had taken a 15-14 lead, now 3 straight points, Janelle, for the Bulldogs.
Now what we could see when they come out of this timeout is that weird sub that I was talking about, where we have a middle blocker come in and set. Come in for the setter, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then we see Sarah Floyd set. It could happen. This might be the time that they try and pull this.
Sarah Floyd, the sophomore, right side. 6'3", not exactly your quintessential setter, but has the skill set to do it. And it does allow them to change a little bit of what they do, to your point, on the block. So we'll see what strategic changes we find from Michael Dearman and Libby Rodriguez here in this first timeout of the evening. McKinney North with a 17-15 advantage in set number 1. Best of 5, as you see there on your screen.
So we'll see if they bring in Marley Ream for Anna Lee. Doesn't look like they're going to use it. But a great pass there.
Quick set, right off the noggin, but still
and they got
alive.
It up. Yep.
Koalas took that one off the face and now can't quite get under that one as they tip it over the top. Taylor Toomey with the finish. Toomey now to serve. A 1-point set number 1. Seaman able to put it down, around the block and down for the sophomore.
Again, if I was Coach Rodriguez, I would be running that fast set out to the outside every time in these rotations where we have Anna Lee on the front row.
Seaman now to serve. Hudgens punishes it. Back comes Highland Park, and it's back down to a 1-point margin. Highland Park already came back once tonight in this first set. Can they do it again? Hunting for a space to no avail. Dug out, but right at the bench. Nothing McKinney North could do with that one. Highland Park pulls back a level at 18.
And really the block is there. This is just a matter of that height differentiation.
Good pass by Rodriguez. Quick set, but that one's out. Chloe Lewis tried to send it to the near sideline, sent it beyond it. 3 straight points for Highland Park, and they're back in front. First to 25 in these first 4 sets. Tough set, off the hands and down, I believe. Yes, point for McKinney North, tied at 19. Caught just a piece of Lydia Fisher on its way over. Lewis on her way to UT Dallas, the middle blocker, on serve now. Juan with a good pass to Anna Lee, the setter, but a big block off the block and out. Wait. Michael Dearman making an argument here.
It appears that ball hit her on the way down.
Highland Park fans chanting that it should be their point. This will be a good look at it here right at the net. It did look like it may have caught the shoulder, right, of Allie Hudgens on its way down before it went out of bounds, and that's why the point goes to McKinney North. That doesn't make anybody feel any better on this near side where the Highland Park fans are. Answering right back, though, is Hudgens. 20-20 as we get into the red zone.
Great pass.
Off the block and down, the point for McKinney North. Jefferson able to tool the block, and McKinney North in front. This most important part of the set, what needs to happen right now for somebody to come away with this first set win?
Really, we're seeing some very steady volleyball.
Yeah.
It's all about eliminating those errors.
Speaking of a service error, right as you say it, Malia McNeil misses long, 21 all.
And it's in these moments when you don't want to just give up points. You want your opponent working for each of the points that they get.
Hudgens with a dagger and an ace for Highland Park. The Scots are 3 points away from taking the first set. Rodriguez underneath that serve, but a little miscommunication and a free ball for Highland Park. Blocked at the net. Scots keep it alive. Another try. Nice job to get under that. Rodriguez sets it up. That one could have been long. Highland Park played it anyway. Tip try. A nice long rally here. McKinney North keeps it going. Looking long, and it is. Off the hands of Jacobson. 23-21 Highland Park in the first set. Timeout, Libby Rodriguez.
And it's those unforced errors when it gets down to the wire in games like this that you absolutely don't want to do. Missed serves, out of system balls going out.
So Libby Rodriguez talking to her team now. What do you expect in terms of any changes here, or what do you think the message probably is in this moment?
They need an in-system ball, and they need an in-system ball fast.
Michael Dearman's team, terrific on serve. Makes it hard to get on system. Dearman in his 22nd season with Highland Park. He has had many very good teams. Went to the title game in 2003, won again in 2008. Had a magnificent team 3 years ago when they were a 6A program. All the elite teams he's had through his years, he feels like this is the best team he's ever had. Another dagger from Hudgens. What a ball over the top. Finding the space on the court, and Highland Park can't answer. Back down to a 1-point margin.
And what both teams are finding here, again, is that back right corner is their friend. They're able to exploit that because typically that's not your strongest back row defensive player.
Burgess, the freshman. A nice serve. Set up on the near side. Nice dig on the back row by Burgess. Blocked at the net.
And a great up by Gabby playing defense there.
Tip try. Highland Park able to send it over, but out. 23 all.
Now we've got that 2-point game. It's a best of two at this point.
It is first to 25, but it is, of course, win by 2. Extra points, very much a possibility. Here in the first set in Allen. Burgess still on serve. A good one.
That's a great pass.
Dug out, another nice pass. Bump set coming. And just an overpass. On the far side, finding the bottom is Taylor Toomey. Highland Park on set point.
Major hole in the block there. which just gave her the ability to put that ball straight down.
And Gigi Wan on serve with an opportunity to end it. Nice set, blocked. They'll try again on the near side. Off the block and down, and it's back even at 24.
And this is exactly the type of volleyball you want to see here. You've got two teams with very different strengths, just exploiting each other's weaknesses.
And here they are, dead even at 24. Rodriguez on serve. Out of system ball. An attempt to tip it over the top. McKinney North saw it coming. Blocked at the net. They'll set up on the far side. Blocked straight down. Highland Park keeps it alive.
Great coverage there.
Free ball here and off of Hudgens for the point.
Chloe Lewis with a great pound there, really seeing the court well, finding the hole, finding that area that she could just get that ball, get really on top of that ball and put it down.
And now McKinney North with an opportunity to end it, and before that, Michael Dearman will use his second timeout of this first set. What a terrific point this was.
And you know, in talking to Coach Rodriguez, she was talking about Chloe Lewis. She said that, you know, this is a player, no flash, all substance, plays very fundamental volleyball. And we saw that in her court awareness there, really aware of the block and aware of where there might be a spot where she could get that point there.
Just hammered it right at Hudgens, and Chloe Lewis gets the kill that puts McKinney North 1 point away from a set 1 win.
And Gabby Rodriguez is exactly who you'd want back there serving, coming out of a timeout like this one.
McKinney North won when these two teams played in the playoffs a year ago, a 3-1 final. That was in the area round. This is the regional final. Setting the near side, big swing, and nothing they can do with that. Highland Park pulls back level thanks to Sarah Floyd.
And if you notice, that block is really struggling to set up against her left arm. Sarah Floyd's a lefty. Where you would get to if you're blocking a lefty, a little different from a right-handed player, which is why she's really able to take advantage of that hard cut.
Tough serve, they're able to dig it up. They set the slide for Lewis, and it's long. Highland Park now in front and a point away.
You mentioned being able to see those extra points. That's exactly what we're seeing now. Let's see if Highland Park can finish this thing right here.
Floyd, the homegrown Highland Park kid. An opportunity to end it with the ace, and she does! 27-25. Highland Park takes set 1. Unbelievable theater from two of the best volleyball programs in the state. Highland Park takes set 1. Back after this on High School Game Night.
Thanks for downloading the WFAA Plus app. The main page is a live stream of WFAA programming, and you can find on-demand stories as well. Just click a tab at the top of your screen and scroll down to find WFAA original programming.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work, and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
Thanks for downloading the WFAA Plus app. The main page is a live stream of WFAA programming, and you can find on-demand stories as well. Just click a tab at the top of your screen and scroll down to find WFAA original programming.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
What a show that first set was. 27-25 in favor of Highland Park to take the first set here in the 5A Division I Region 2 final. Janelle, what did you like most about what we saw there in the first set? What sticks out as to why Highland Park was able to get the win?
These are two teams that battle it out to the last point. They go hard for every ball. They do not want to see anything drop, which is what we saw in some of those all-out plays. Even when the ball is clearly about to go out of bounds, you see them running and you see them hustling towards it because they want to get the point. They want to win. These are two highly competitive teams, and they're both working very hard. When it comes to Highland Park, I don't even know if at the end of the game they were playing better or they just eliminated some of the errors that put them in that tough decision earlier in the game. And I think that towards the end of the game, they had exactly who they needed on that front row to really close things out.
We'll see if they can do so again here in this second set. As Highland Park looking for their 41st victory of the year. Off to a good start here in the 5A D1 Region 2 final. Aledo and Birdville on the other side of the bracket playing right now across town. Winners will meet on Saturday at Prosper Rock Hills Gymnasium for a berth in the state championship match. It will be Highland Park to serve to start set number 2. Anna Lee, the junior setter, her 1,229 assists on the year, has her second in all of DFW coming into tonight. Well, miscommunication there and just sending that over flat-footed. Dug out, a dunk try. McKinney North able to get under it. Juan diving in for the dig from the back row. Floyd couldn't put that one down. Tip try, Juan is there. Nice job by Rodriguez to get underneath it. Good luck finding the floor tonight, but you gotta have a heavy hand like Sarah Floyd to do so. And a 1-0 start for the Scots here in the second round, in the second set.
Great set there by Anna Lee, and great court awareness by her, realizing that that middle was cheating a little bit to the outside pin.
Blocked at the apex, but McKinney North able to respond. Tough ball here for Highland Park. The overpass, an opportunity.
There.
Oh my, what a finish by Lydia Fisher.
And those throws are just really, really difficult to defend.
So Lee remains on serve as Highland Park looks to start this second set strong. High off the block. Clever play there right at the net by Highland Park, but not able to find the court. They'll set the back row for Seaman. Can't get it over the net. And a 3-0 opening here in the second set for the HP Scots.
We just saw a little bit of that leadership from Gabby Rodriguez that they were talking about. Brings her team in for that huddle, gives them a second to get a little breather, a little bit of encouragement. And look at that insistent pass right there.
Tough ball, but Highland Park able to do something with it. Bump set and just discommunication there. They all kind of ran away from it.
Yeah. And that's when you really just have to talk. It's mine, mine, mine.
So McNeil, the setter, to serve for McKinney North. Great crowd on hand tonight here in Allen. Highland Park sending a couple buses worth to see Sarah Floyd do things like that. And it's a 4-1 start for the Scots.
And Sarah Floyd is just so high up that the block can be set. She's almost going right over them.
The block is merely another net to clear. A 4-1 start here for the Scots. Tip try that Rodriguez read. Heavy hands there, and the point.
And they're saying the Highland Park went in the net?
Yes, I think so, yes. And the point will go to McKinney North. So a 4-2 tally here early on in the second set.
But we're getting some really good rallies here, too. Again, that fundamental volleyball, that no ball hits the ground untouched.
Nice dig on the back row by Burgess, the freshman. They tried to set the quick. Highland Park able to respond. Tip try. A set by the libero for Seaman, and she gets it down. Juan couldn't quite get underneath it.
Seaman did a really good job there reading the court, realizing that they were expecting a deep ball from her, and doing that roll right over the block and into that hole right there in the middle of the court.
Burgess, just long, good read by Gigi Juan and Allie Hudgens on the back row.
Now serving number 14, Gigi
Juan, the absolute leader of this Highland Park team. Nearly an overpass. Did a nice job to set it, and still Seaman gets roofed. Sarah Floyd just blotting out the sun.
And really nowhere to go there. You've got Sarah Floyd up there. You've got Brooklyn Bailey there. They're just a big, solid block.
Tough dig there by Rodriguez. Seaman from way off the court able to send it over. Back row set, blocked at the net by Caitlin Jefferson. McKinney North 36-3 on the year. The district champs in 9-5A Division I. Rodriguez misses way long on the service there.
Now serving number 12, Sarah Floyd.
In the first set, we saw McKinney North start off so strong, and Highland Park had to reel them back in. This time it's Highland Park that gets off to a strong start in set number 2. Can McKinney North find an answer?
Great serve there.
From the back row, Burgess just had to send it over. Nice block up high by Chloe Lewis, and that will run out of bounds. Point to McKinney North. Good serve by Kowalis. Highland Park able to set the near side. Toomey can't finish. From the back row, a dump try to no avail.
And it's coming over.
They set the middle. Lewis able to score.
And that's that tempo that Highland Park was talking about, not wanting to deal with from McKinney North. When those middles are in tempo, they are small but mighty, explosive, and really can find those spots to put the ball down.
Kowalis, the senior. An undersized 5'4" setter, but one of the quarterbacks of this Bulldogs offense with Malia McNeil. Another good serve. They set the back row. Floyd. A heavy-handed ball. And the touch on the near side by Highland Park will give the point to McKinney North, and Michael Dearman pleading his case.
And the call here is that the ball did not break the plane. It has to break the plane for the other side to be able to touch it when the setter is going up to set.
And just like that, McKinney North has pulled level 7-7. Nice job by Rodriguez to get a hand on that one. They set the slide off the block and down. Brooklyn Bailey scoring, and Highland Park is back in front.
A little background on Brooklyn Bailey. When we were talking to Coach Dearman, he was saying how she was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
In 7th grade, C team player.
That's in for Tume and the ace.
B team in 8th grade. But between 8th and 9th grade, she blossomed and made varsity as a freshman. Is now a Memphis commit. And as we see, has really been dominating here tonight.
Another ace. Again finding the back row is Tume. Back to back. The sophomore makes it 10-7 Highland Park.
You know, Coach Dearman said, you know, Tume, 6th rotation player. She's good all around, which is what we've seen here tonight.
Tough set there. They're able to send it over. Blocked at the net. That could have been out on McKinney North. Highland Park played it, and we play on. Lewis roofed at the net.
That set just a little too short. Came off her hands right at the tape there. And would have needed to be a little bit higher to get over that big block.
3 straight points from McKinney North to tie it at 7. Now 4 straight points from Highland Park to answer back. Rodriguez with the set for Seaman. Blocked, but McKinney North keeps it alive. They'll set Floyd from the back row, and they cannot handle it. 12-7 HP.
And that's really a testament for Floyd in that moment there. She played defense, got a good ball up, they gave it right to her, and she was able to put it down. A clear marking of a 6th rotation player, because she put that down from the back row, but also someone who just can play her position and play it well.
Well-rounded sophomore Sarah Floyd, heavily recruited already, has been since she was in 7th grade. Leads the Scots team in kills coming into the night with 304 on the year. Also a presence on the block all season as well. A brilliant play there. And Highland Park has built themselves a 12-7 lead in this second set.
And really that's the mark of a good opposite right side player. A lot of times your right side is your tallest player on the court. Sometimes you're seeing 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and a lot of times they don't end up playing all the way around. That is not what we're seeing from Sarah Floyd. She's a 6th rotation player, and she's able to be dominant in all 6 of those positions. Not to mention, the coach mentioned, she's a right side player, but can hit from anywhere.
Still on serve is Taylor Tume. Another good one and another ace. Her 3rd in this run for HP. It's 6 straight points for the Scots. Out of the timeout, an ace. All the momentum to Highland Park right now. That one misses long from Tume, and it'll end the run, but a terrific sequence from Tume and the Scots, and they lead by 5 in this second set. They won the first set, 27-25. So McKinney North needs to find themselves an answer here in a hurry.
Yeah, McKinney North's really gonna have to capitalize on that service error.
They set Hudgens, and she finishes. 6'4" and just coming right into your kitchen. There's nothing you can do about it.
Not at all.
Back on serve is Highland Park. A good one from Haley Hunt, who came on, and they can't get it over. 15-8 Highland Park. Good play at the net from Lydia Fisher. That one misses long from Haley Hunt, and it goes back to McKinney North. What do the Bulldogs need to change right now, other than the momentum?
Right now, their serve receive, and Coach Rodriguez talked about this a little bit. They rely mostly on just two players in that back row. When you have a team that is as strong in serving as Highland Park, you may have to adjust a little bit and bring some more people into the mix back there.
Zoe Alsop on serve. First time we've seen her tonight. The dump from Anna Lee. Who cares if she's 5'4"? (16-9) Highland Park with the advantage, and now Lee on serve. They set the back row for Seaman. In the middle, Fisher. Tough play, bump set for Seaman. Able to send it to the back row. Highland Park with an opportunity on the near side. Hudgens, dug out. High off the hands, dug out by Gigi Wan. A chance for Highland Park to send it back, and they finish. Hudgens, 17-9 Highland Park. Gigi Wan with a spectacular play on the near sideline to keep that one alive. And Hudgens finishes. Highland Park up 8 in this second set. They set the slide and they block it.
It's out.
But it's out.
It's out.
Point to McKinney North as a result. Caitlin Jefferson knew it right away.
And number 6, Malia McNeil, now serving Malia McNeil.
And that was a bold play, because on that pin blocking, you've got 6'4", 6'5".
Only thing you can do is try and tool it off the block.
Exactly. Caitlin Jefferson sitting at 5'8".
Goodness. Sarah Floyd just detonating on that one.
When they say she can put it down in any position, that's what they mean for taking that shot from the middle and that cross play.
Another good serve. Tip try, dug out. Anna Lee able to get underneath that one from the back row.
Smart placement, sending it to that right back.
It kept McKinney North out of system. Floyd dug out. Rodriguez will set it on the near side. Over the block and down. Nicole Jacobson scores, a point that McKinney North needed dearly.
A little background about Nicole Jacobson. She's naturally a middle blocker, but plays right side for McKinney North. Coach Rodriguez says that she's starting to love that opposite role. But again, she's used to being a middle.
Underneath it is Rodriguez, and McKinney North keeps it alive. Terrific play from the libero. But still finishing is Tume. Every time McKinney North does anything right, Highland Park's got another answer for them.
Highland Park really dominating this match.
They set the near side, the tip try, won't go for Jacobson. The block, but it's right off the block and down the point for Highland Park. Scott's first to the red zone by a mile, and a timeout for Libby Rodriguez.
Highland Park's big girls are just taking advantage of McKinney North at this point. And a lot of it boils down to Highland Park being in system. They're passing extraordinarily well, making it so that Annalee has a lot of options, both at the net and in back row. And that's hard to defend.
Yeah.
With any team, but especially a team that's got 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", when you are a smaller team.
For our fans that are at home watching right now that may not be big volleyball fans, that may be picking this up for the first time tonight, when you talk about passing, I think for a lay person, it all looks like passing, but it's that first opportunity to create offense.
Yeah, so, you know, where you want your setter, your QB to be is maybe a foot off the net in that 10-foot line. So you see the line that's like the shorter line from the net. You want them to be in there just slightly right of the middle of the court. When you get a ball right on top of their head there, they can set anyone.
That's a good example of a nice pass from Rodriguez there, and sure enough, in system, they set it up for Seaman. And out of the timeout, McKinney North with another dearly needed point while Highland Park was on serve.
And this is the rotation where McKinney North can really exploit one of Highland Park's weaknesses. They've got Annalee in the front row. She does not block. If you get that fast set out there to the pin, you're going to be up with a solo block.
They set it up for Seaman. Tipped on its way through. Blocked at the apex by Chloe Lewis.
And I'm actually mistaken here. Annalee is in the back row. We've still got Sarah Floyd up front, I believe.
Rodriguez on serve. They set it up for Floyd, off the block and down for the point. 21-13 Highland Park.
And the block could have had that really where they're struggling as they're not getting their feet to the ball. It is so important that you're playing it when you go up so you can really penetrate your hands over the net. Because they're there, they're just in flux, which makes it really easy to tool.
That serve goes right off the tape and down. Point for Highland Park off the service error from Floyd. And that's one of the things that McKinney North feels like they do really well, is get their feet to the ball. They feel like their quickness is one of the things that allows them to be so good on the block.
Yeah. And I mean, they're getting there, they're just not planting. It's the planting portion. Because if you're still in motion, I'm as a player taking advantage of that all day.
Off the hands and out. Koalas couldn't handle it. And Highland Park is 3 points away from a 2-set lead.
Now serving Taylor Tumay.
Tumay back on serve. She was terrific earlier in this set. Tough ball. The dump try won't go. For Lee, off the block, still alive. Good job by McKinney North to keep that ball alive. Free ball for Highland Park. The tip try didn't get there for Allie Hudgens. And it's a point for the Bulldogs.
Serving in at number 12, Tinley Greenbaker. Now serving Anna Saban.
Can McKinney North create a run? Down 7 in this second set. On the slide and hammered by Bailey. Haley Hunt to serve for the Scots. Misses long.
Way to watch that.
They got burned by that a little bit earlier on in this set. Tumay had a couple that were very, very well placed. They thought they'd be out and they weren't. This time it's a 7-point margin that McKinney North has to make up. Juan sets it on the near side. Fisher The block. Nice job by McKinney North to keep that alive. They come back to the far side, and Highland Park can't do anything with that one. Tinley Brubaker, the freshman, able to finish.
McKinney North has 2 freshmen on the front row right now. We've also got Ella McNeil in right side.
Oh my, Allie Hudgens.
McKinney North arguing that they were in the net. Ref says no here. And now we're at game point.
The Scots 1 point away from a 2-0 lead. In system, but long. Highland Park dominant in the second set. A 25-17 win, and they've got a 2-0 lead. Janelle, they were fantastic in that second set.
It felt like they got their groove. They were doing all of the things that Coach Durman said that they were preparing for. I think it was a matter of them kind of getting their footing going into that second match, which they definitely were able to do. They played up on their strengths, which is size and serve receive. But one thing that I really like about Highland Park is they're pretty steady. There can be a run. They're not getting down. They're ready to move on to the next point. And that's what we saw there. You mentioned a little earlier how each time McKinney North did something right, Highland Park was responding with 3 things right.
Yeah.
And I think that they really capitalized on their momentum. They have a good point, and they're like, all right, we're going to take this energy, and we're going to use it on the next point, and the next point. And if we have an error or if they score, we're getting right back into this thing, and that's what we saw in match 2.
Can McKinney North find an answer? They have not lost since August 23rd. They're going to have to win 3 straight sets to keep their 23-match winning streak alive tonight here in Allen. Highland Park, the last time they lost, September 5th against Aledo. An Aledo team ranked number 1 in the state in 5A Division I and playing Birdville right now. And we talked with Michael Dearman about that match, a 3-2 loss, a very, very tight match all through against Aledo back in September. And that was a match in which Highland Park did not have either Sarah Floyd or Allie Hudgens available to them, and yet still battled right to the end against the Aledo Bearcats. And you can only imagine how much Highland Park wants another shot at Aledo when they're fully healthy to see what that can look like.
Absolutely, and I really am glad you mentioned that, because it's important to note that they hadn't really gotten fully healthy until right before the end of the regular season.
Yeah, they said like 4 or 5 games left in the season.
So these girls haven't played together for months and months and months. This is, you know, them going through a lot of different lineups and being successful, which has really created a deep bench for them, which is always good for this year and next, because as they go into next year, they will, you know, have a lot of girls who were very successful this year and can carry that over.
Yeah, they don't have many seniors on the roster. Certainly Lydia Fisher there in the middle, and Brooklyn Bailey, 3 of their 7 starters. You got to include Gigi Wan in that, their libero. But Sarah Floyd, just a sophomore. Allie Hudgens, just a junior. Annalise, a junior. Taylor Toomey, a sophomore. Marley Ream, a key piece off the bench, just a sophomore. A lot of talent coming back for the Highland Park Scots a year from now as well. They're not thinking about that right now. They're thinking about what they hope are 3 matches left in this season. Tonight and 2 more. Can they finish the job here in the 3rd set, or can McKinney North force us deeper into the night? It's McNeil to serve. A good one. And an out-of-system ball here coming. And yet still Highland Park able to score thanks to Lydia Fisher. I beg your pardon, Sarah Floyd. Because who else would it be but Sarah Floyd tonight?
Sarah's wait and explode is amazing. On an out-system ball that's that high, just waiting, making sure she's really getting her feet to it.
You don't see that happen to Gigi Wan very often. Highland Park not able to send it over. Wan got twisted up by that one, and it's 1-1.
But you still see the hustle there. No ball drops without someone going for it.
Hannah Lee racing back, trying to get enough on that one to send it over the net. Just couldn't quite hit it hard enough. Good serve by Burgess. From the near side, oh my, Sarah Floyd. She winds that thing up like it's a trebuchet. It's just unbelievable.
She's got incredible court awareness. She's very patient with her approach. You don't see her underneath the ball too much because she's a wait and explode type of player. And again, what we're seeing, you know, she can put it down from wherever. Both pins, front row, back row, high in the middle.
Off the block, Highland Park able to respond. Lee tried to dump it to the back corner to no avail. They set up Seaman. She's blocked. They'll set it up on the far side. Off the block, Highland Park keeps it alive. Tip try. Won't go for Floyd. To the middle, and that will fall for Caitlin Jefferson. Allie Hudgens hit the deck hard, diving for that one. Gets up and seems to be okay.
And that's that speed that we were expecting from Caitlin Jefferson there. Again, just 5'8", playing middle. But her quickness and her athleticism and her ability to jump, making it so she's able to go really head-to-head with Brooklyn Bailey.
Well, float serve there. Rodriguez nearly caught him napping. That's in! Finds the back corner, and Floyd scores again.
Again, she's really able to take advantage of that right back position.
Good serve. McKinney North able to handle it and set it up brilliantly for Nicole Jacobson. And it's 3-3.
And that is the downfall of not having Anna Lee up there setting. There was absolutely no block there.
Just a wide open court.
Wide open. Brooklyn Bailey got psyched out a little bit. Thought they might have went to the outside and was beat.
Number 1 Aledo swept Birdville tonight. They await the winner of this one in the state semifinals. That misses long. Point to McKinney North. And a much better start to this third set for the Bulldogs than second.
They know at this point, if they want a shot at making it to the next round, they've got to take this match.
They'll set the back row for Floyd. Dug out, but right into the net, and a point for the Scots. They set the near side for Seaman. Dug out by Hudgens. Backside blocked. Kept alive by Wan. From the back row, off the hands and down for Tume.
And we're seeing them really take advantage of Jordan Kowalis there in that back right position. Obviously, she's the setter, but has to play defense before she can come out of that.
Good miss. Brooklyn Bailey.
And that's a single block. She's up there by herself. Alone.
Outstanding.
No Anna Lee. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. When you have a single block up there, you don't want to hit right into it, obviously. You've got to find a way to get around there. But also a testament to how good Brooklyn Bailey is and why Coach Dearman feels so confident in not having Anna Lee block. Which, again, is something it's pretty rare. It's not something that you see often.
Seaman missed that one. Came off her hand. Not like how she wanted it to. 7-5 Highland Park off the service error. Good pass, good serve, and they set it up very nicely on the near side for Brubaker. A good answer from McKinney North. But the question that has really developed through the night is, can McKinney North maintain any sort of momentum? They've really struggled to string points together tonight. Apart from the first set, I suppose. Nice job to get hands on it with the block there. Finding the back line. A nice shot from Ella McNeil. That catches the fingertip. No, it did not, of Gigi Wan. I thought it did.
It looked like it.
It sure looked like it.
It absolutely looked like it.
Another look at it here. Oh.
Maybe right through her hands?
Maybe. Very, very close. 8-7 Highland Park as a result of that point going the Scots' way. Nice shot by the freshman Brubaker, and it's 8-all. Mark Alonso in the YouTube comments says, wow, HP's front line is ready to play for UT. Yeah, they're about that tall. Fantastic says, let's go Bulldogs. Barrett Johnston with a blue and yellow heart rooting for Highland Park tonight. Lee setting the middle. Nice job by McKinney North to at least keep this one alive. Free ball, though, for the Scots. They'll set the far side. Off the hands and down for Allie Hudgens. Highland Park back in front.
And that's a little bit of the downfall of running a 6-2 offense, is that your setter does have to play defense all 6 rotations before they can get up to the net.
They set the middle. Did not catch a finger on the way through. Point to Highland Park.
And you can see the difference in energy for these two teams. Highland Park looks a lot more relaxed. They're joking around. They've got their cheers that you see on the sideline. McKinney North seemed a little tense, a little more uptight.
Yeah. That misses long. They needed that break. 11-9 here midway through this third set. Highland Park with a 2-0 lead. They won the first set in a thriller, 27-25, then quite dominant in the second set, winning 25-17. They lead by 2 here in the third set. McKinney North trying to find an answer. Lee sets it up, the tip try, won't go for Floyd. They work to the backside. Nice job to get underneath that on the back line by Hudgens. Blocked down, Highland Park can't keep it up.
But that was great coverage by Gigi Wan there.
11-10. Into the net. A service error from Brinley Burgess, 12-10.
This is when they really need to lock in and bounce back after that error and not get down into a rut.
Juan with a dagger. Rodriguez able to dig it out. They set the far side for Tume, a little discombobulated. Couldn't get a good swing on it. Back down to a 1-point margin here in this third set.
She shot that out in a fast set, but it just, the placement way past that antenna there.
Rodriguez on serve. Can she get McKinney North rolling? Bump set from the back row. That missed. Oh my, I thought that missed long. They say that's in on the far sideline.
I don't know. Call.
Oh, mercy.
Let's watch this. That call, I don't know.
Unfortunately, our camera's on the other side.
We're on the other side. We're not even going to be able to see it. It looked out to me.
It certainly looked out from our location. 13-11 as a result. That's definitely out. No question about it. Point to the Bulldogs, 13-12.
You know, when we played and that sort of situation happened, the next ball went out, we'd always say the ball never lies. So it's probably what McKinney North is saying over there on their bench right now.
So now Kowalis on serve. The senior trying to get something going for the Bulldogs. The slide. Dug out. An overpass here.
Great hustle there.
Burgess somehow dug out. They'll set Bailey again. Tip try will get down for McKinney North. Just barely for Ella McNeil, the freshman. And it's 13-all.
That rally really was a battle of the liberos. Two great liberos battling it out, hustling for their team.
Gigi Juan and Gabby Rodriguez, both sensational senior liberos on their way to play D1 ball a year from now. Blocked. Very well done by Chloe Lewis and Ella McNeil. And McKinney North with the lead here in the third set. Ella McNeil, the freshman, playing a big role here in this third set for Libby Rodriguez. They'll set the back row. Floyd, just too hot to handle. Point to Highland Park, and it's 14-all.
Really unstoppable at this point. Sarah Floyd is having a great night tonight. And she's only a sophomore.
Tume to serve now. She was terrific on serve in the second set. Can she create a run for the Scots? Floyd with the dig on the back line. They'll set her, and there's nothing they can do with it. Oh, did they hit the... No, yes, point to Highland Park.
And again, a testament to her skill. Digs the ball, given right back to her, and is able to score that point.
Scots back in front. Good serve from Tume. They'll set the near side pin, and finishing is Seaman.
And that is the strategy. If they can get that fastball out to their pins when Anna Lee is on that front row, they put themselves in a position to score every time. Because again, Brooklyn Bailey is up there alone. And that quick set, she's gonna have to haul tail out there.
Lee, the center, on the front row right now. Can McKinney North capitalize? The block is down. Bulldogs lead.
And I think for the first time since the first set, we're finally seeing McKinney North relax a little bit, loosen up a little bit.
Off the tape, Highland Park did a nice job to get underneath that. That one is blocked. They'll set the near side. The tip try, no. Point to Highland Park. 4 touches by the Bulldogs, and it's 16-all.
They've got to side out fast to keep the momentum that we just saw from McKinney North. Because as we know, if Highland Park gets on a run, they're going to run with it.
Hunt on serve. They set up McNeil, and McNeil has it blocked. Hudgens was there. Scots with the lead. Michael Dearman's team could be just 8 points away from the state semifinals. Alito awaits the winner. Miscommunication, the set wasn't where Lewis needed it. Point to Highland Park.
If they don't side out here, I'm anticipating a timeout from McKinney North.
Good serve, kind of ate up Saman. They're going to set her from the back row. Highland Park setting Fisher, and she's blocked. Nicely done by Lewis and Brubaker to answer back. McKinney North battling for their lives. Season on the line. Have to come back and get a win in this third set to extend the match. Dug out on the far side by Koalas. They set it up for McNeil. Off the tape, dug out. Highland Park will set the far side for Hudgens. She had it blocked. And then they kind of ran into each other. Anna Lee and Lydia Fisher bounced off one another as one went for the ball and the other set to get ready to try and score for the Scots, and as a result, it's 18-all.
Really nice pass there.
And right down the pipe for Allie Hudgens. And the Scots answer.
They took advantage of that middle blocker playing middle back.
Nice serve from Anna Lee. They dig it out. McNeil, the freshman, through the block and scores.
What we might see is a repeat of match one here, point for point, with it boiling down to who can keep from making errors.
Who executes in the red zone here in this third set? McNeil on serve.
Great pass there.
They set the middle and off the block and down for Sarah Floyd. And Highland Park's the first to 20.
Really eager to see her hitting percentage for the night.
And now Hudgens, the 6'4" junior, on serve. Overpass. Free chance here for Highland Park. They set up Floyd off the block and out. Point to the Scots, and they're up 2.
We got a timeout here.
Libby Rodriguez up off the bench, firing up her team. Michael Dearman settling his team, knowing that they could be just 4 points away from the state semis. The Highland Park student section fired up. Great crowd on hand tonight here at Allen High School. Can McKinney North force us to a fourth set, or is Highland Park destined for a date with Alito in the state semifinals on Saturday at Prosper Rock Hill?
McKinney North is going to need a quick side out here, because we know that if Highland Park gets this momentum, they might cruise on through and take match 3 and close this out 3-0.
A year ago in the second round, it was a 3-1 McKinney North win on what was a 6-match march to the state championship match. Tip try, what a finish! Nicole Jacobson scores. McKinney North with the side out they needed.
Such a smart play by her there.
So now Burgess, the freshman, to serve. They set the near side for Floyd, and she missed long. 21 all. L-Dog 21 in the YouTube comments, watching from Bushland, Texas tonight. Appreciate you joining us from all the way out near Amarillo. Terrific third set, racing toward its conclusion. They set the middle for Floyd, right off the arm of McNeil. And Gigi Wan takes over on serve. Can the senior libero run this right into a state semifinal appearance? Looking for the back line, but no. Jacobson couldn't keep it in play.
We are down to the wire. You can see the determination in Gigi Wan's face there.
And Libby Rodriguez will use her second and final timeout of this third set. And it is Gabby Rodriguez, the senior libero, that is talking to her team right now in the huddle. Gabby Rodriguez delivering the message to her team.
And really, that's the mark of a true leader.
Michael Dearman telling his team what they need to do to finish this one off. He told us earlier this week he feels like this is the best team he's ever had. There's only one thing he hasn't done as a head coach, and that is win a state championship. Everything else is on his resume. He said it would mean everything. Everything. To add that final line to the things he and his program have accomplished. They're 2 points away from going back to the state semifinals. They'll set the near side. Seaman has it blocked, but it's out of bounds. Point to McKinney North, 23-22.
Great job there by Gabby Rodriguez, following that ball, making sure it was out, but also in position to play it up if it was, in fact, in the lines.
Rodriguez delivered a sermon to her teammates a moment ago. Now she's on serve. That's floated over the top for the point for Toomey. And Highland Park is a point away.
Just read Gabby Rodriguez's lips there. She says, one pass, let's side out. That's all they've got in this moment.
Floyd on serve, Highland Park. Match point, but a terrific ball sent over somehow by Highland Park, but out. 24-23, Seaman with a terrific hit.
And you hear that entire squad screaming, out, out.
(24-23), Kowalis to serve. Timeout, Michael Dearman.
I'm pulling at you.
It has become such an atmosphere in here that Janelle Fort and I have no choice but to stand up on the bleachers to even be able to see the action right now. Everybody on their feet here at Allen High School. The McKinney North student section trying to fire their fans up. As Kowalis, the senior setter, will be on serve. Gabby Rodriguez with some final words of encouragement. Obviously, this ball has to be in or it's over. Can McKinney North force extra points? A good serve from Koalas, the overpass. A chance here for McKinney North. They set up the freshman McNeil, and they'll tie it at 24.
It's a game to 2.
Just as in the first set, we go to extra points, have to win by 2. Koalas again on serve. Good pass. They set up the slide. Dug out, still alive. Free ball for Highland Park. They'll set the slide again. Blocked but out of bounds. Point to Highland Park. Bailey scores and it's set point again. The 5A Division I Region II final is on the hands of Taylor Toomey.
Great pass there.
They set Seaman, dug out by Juan to the far side. Floater is down, and Highland Park is going to the state semifinals.
Woo.
Allie Hudgens with the finisher, floating it over the top, and in extra points, Highland Park with a third set win over McKinney North to sweep the Bulldogs and move on to the state semis.
And Coach German said before this match that Allie Hudgens was the type to want to do everything the right way. And in that play, instead of taking the big swing there, she found an opportunity and was able to get that ball down and secure that state semi berth for this Highland Park team.
The celebration for Highland Park is on. They move on to the semifinals on Saturday, where they will face the #1 ranked Aledo Bearcats. A trip to the title match on the line. What a performance from Highland Park tonight. Dominant in that second set and effective and poised in the first and third sets when it mattered the most, you know.
Yeah, really kept a level head. The one thing that I was most impressed by with Highland Park is how they appear, from the outside looking in, they don't get tense. They can have a mistake and they will bounce back. You don't see that tension on their faces in those moments. They look at each other, they're like, we got this, that point's over, we need to look ahead to the next one. And I think that that's really what propelled them over this McKinney North team today.
27-25 in the first set. A dominant 25-17 performance in the second set. And then a 26-24 thriller in set number 3. Highland Park with the sweep of McKinney North, who went to the title match a year ago. Michael Dearman's team knocks him off this time, gets some revenge for that second round ouster a year ago. And it's the Highland Park Scots that will move on to those state semifinals. Coleman AEC in the YouTube comment says, yes, Allie, with about 7 E's fired up for Allie Hudgens getting that final point. Mark Alonso says, great game to both teams. Terrific performance from both programs, terrific season from both programs. McKinney North will finish the year 36-4, 3 wins shy of their ultimate goal. Highland Park improves to 41-8 on the season. Michael Dearman sending his career win total even higher into the 900s. And he and his program take one step closer, 2 more wins for that elusive state championship.
And it's a great storyline here. You know, this is a team that hadn't been healthy for a while, lost a lot of players within, 3 weeks of the beginning of the season. Those players came back, and they were able to do this tonight as they head on a run for the ship.
Yeah, not just any 2 players, maybe their single 2 best players in Sarah Floyd and Allie Hudgens, certainly their 2 biggest offensive weapons at the very least. Missing for significant portions of the season. Almost all of September, most of October, only came back with 3 or 4 games left in the season. And really, neither of them were fully healthy until right before the end of the regular season.
Which
but
is
they
truly,
have certainly found a rhythm now.
Yeah, truly a testament to just how good this team is, in the fact that they were able to play at such a high level without those 2 players. And now that they're back, just playing even higher than that.
What do you feel like was most important tonight? Why was Highland Park the better team?
Just their level head. They are a really good team at putting a missed point, a mistake in the pass, and just going on to the next play, being hyper-focused on the next play, never really letting a run by the other team get too much in their heads to the point where they tense up. They were very loose. They were smiles on the court, even when things weren't necessarily going their way. I think what was most impressive and what really set the tone for this is the way that they were able to come back in match 1.
Yeah.
That bounce back in match 1, their ability to win that and win it as closely as they did. And then that dominant second match. And then again, another close match in match 3, but never losing the confidence that they could win it all. And that's exactly what they did.
Ultimately, it is a 3-set sweep. Close in 2 of the 3 sets, but a 3-set sweep for the Highland Park Scots, their 41st win of the year, and they are on to the state semifinals. For our entire high school game night crew, our director Clay Marshall, our photographers Graham Rayner and Cody Pryor, our digital coordinator back in-house Ben Sawyers, Janelle Ford alongside. I'm Mike Leslie. The Highland Park Scots, Michael Dearman said it, he feels like this is the best team he's ever had. They are 2 wins away from hoisting a trophy. Congratulations to the Highland Park Scots, the 5A Division I Region II champions. Good night, everybody.